Imagine being in the middle of your usual workday when something unexpected happens. You're just doing your job, dealing with the normal pressures, the daily routine, and the endless line of guests checking in, making requests, and moving through the hotel lobby like it's just another day. But then, suddenly, one moment changes everything. You unknowingly humiliate one of the most famous movie stars in the world, only to find out that this person is not just a regular guest, they're Keanu Reeves, and the entire experience will turn your life upside down. Let's take a deeper dive into how this happens and how a simple mistake can shift the course of your life. But before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Your support means the world to us. Now, let's jump into this unbelievable story. The hotel was a symbol of luxury, an oasis in the middle of the city, serving as a playground for the rich and famous. For Emma, a young receptionist in her early 20s, working in this prestigious establishment was both a dream come true and a never-ending pressure. She had grown up in a modest household, with her parents always telling her to reach for the stars, to aim for the top, and to work hard to make something of herself. She had applied to multiple hotels and hospitality establishments, but when she was hired by this one, it felt like a victory, a recognition that she was on the path to something bigger, something that could give her the life she had always dreamed of. She had always been good at her job, managing multiple tasks at once, keeping calm under pressure, and making guests feel like they were the most important people in the room. However, despite her efficiency and dedication, Emma often felt like something was missing. She had sacrificed a lot, long hours, little time for herself, and the constant struggle to please her boss, just to prove she could be a part of this world. Every day, she dealt with demanding guests, each with their own eccentricities. They wanted the finest treatment, the best rooms, and impeccable service. And Emma delivered, despite the toll it took on her emotionally and mentally. Emma's coworkers were a mix of people who had been in the industry for years and those just starting like her. The senior staff members often gave her tips and advice, but they also reminded her of the harsh realities of working in such a demanding environment. One thing they all agreed on: if you wanted to survive, you had to push through the stress, no matter what. Yet, the reality of this pressure was wearing on Emma. Every day, she felt more and more disconnected from the dreams that had originally driven her. She was still passionate about hospitality, but she couldn't help but wonder if this was the life she had envisioned. The glamorous facade of the hotel was beautiful, but behind it, she felt like a small cog in a giant machine. She longed for something more, a chance to make a real difference, to go beyond simply serving people, and instead connect with them on a deeper level. It was a Tuesday afternoon, and the hotel lobby was particularly busy. A stream of guests had checked in, and Emma was moving swiftly between the front desk and the phones, ensuring that every request was handled. She had learned how to juggle tasks quickly, maintaining a calm and collected demeanor even when chaos swirled around her. She had become used to dealing with high-profile clients and was comfortable navigating the pressure of the fast-paced environment. Suddenly, the door to the lobby swung open, and in walked a man who immediately caught her attention. He wasn't dressed in an ostentatious way, but there was something about his presence that felt different. He was tall, with a calm aura that seemed to fill the room. His casual attire, hoodie, jeans, and sneakers, didn't scream celebrity, but there was an unmistakable air of confidence and kindness around him. Emma barely looked up as she typed on the computer, too focused on the tasks at hand. The man approached the desk, and his voice caught her attention. "I have a reservation under Keanu Reeves," he said, his tone warm but calm. Without thinking, Emma glanced up and, noticing nothing remarkable about him, replied, "I'm sorry, but I don't see a reservation under that name. Can you give me a moment to check?" She continued typing away, clicking through screens on the computer, but the name Keanu Reeves didn't register in her mind. She had heard of him, of course. He was a famous actor, one of the most respected and beloved in Hollywood, but she didn't recognize the man standing in front of her as the same Keanu Reeves. To her, he was just another guest in the long line of guests she had dealt with that day. The man didn't seem bothered by her indifference. "Are you sure?" he asked again, his voice still calm. Emma sighed impatiently, her nerves beginning to fray as the clock ticked on. "I'm positive," she said, her tone a little sharper than intended. "If you didn't book here, maybe try another hotel. We're fully booked today." She looked back at the screen, barely acknowledging his presence anymore. Keanu didn't react with annoyance or anger. He simply nodded, his face betraying no hint of frustration. "All right, thank you," he said softly. He stepped back from the desk, clearly understanding that the situation wasn't going to go anywhere. He pulled out his phone, likely to check with his assistant about the reservation. As Keanu moved away from the counter, Emma turned to speak with her coworker, making a sarcastic remark about the guest. "Some people think they're so important they can just demand special treatment." Her words were dismissive, almost cutting, but as she turned back to the desk, Emma heard the sound of footsteps approaching quickly. A hotel manager, who had overheard the conversation, rushed to her side. "Emma, what did you say to Mr. Reeves?" he asked, his face pale with concern. Emma froze. "Mr. Reeves?" she repeated, her heart racing. "That was Keanu Reeves?" "Yes, that was Keanu Reeves," the manager said, his voice filled with both disbelief and a touch of panic. "What did you say to him? Do you realize who he is?" It was as though the world stopped moving for a moment. Emma's mind raced as she tried to piece everything together. The man in front of her had been one of the most famous actors in the world, someone known for his humility and kindness, and yet she had treated him with complete indifference, possibly even rude disregard. The manager quickly moved to fix the situation, offering Keanu a VIP room and profusely apologizing for the misunderstanding. Meanwhile, Emma stood there, her heart sinking deeper with each passing moment. She had blown a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to show grace and professionalism, and in return, she had done the exact opposite. The rest of the day passed in a blur of guilt and self-reflection. Emma couldn't shake the embarrassment she felt. She had let her own frustrations and impatience cloud her judgment. And worse, she hadn't recognized that the person she had brushed aside was a human being just like any other, a man who, despite his fame, still deserved to be treated with kindness and respect. Later that night, Emma went home and replayed the events over and over in her mind. She knew she had to make it right. But the real challenge wasn't going to be apologizing to Keanu. It was going to be changing the way she approached her work and her attitude toward others. The following day, Emma came in for her shift, determined to learn from her mistake. She spent the entire morning reflecting on her actions and the lessons she needed to internalize. She realized that she had been living with a mindset of survival, always just trying to get through the day, without thinking about the importance of human connection and kindness in her work. As the day went on, she found herself treating every guest, celebrity or not, with a renewed sense of respect and patience. Her interactions felt more genuine, and for the first time in a long time, she felt like she was truly embodying the values she had once dreamed of representing in her role. But the real surprise came at the end of her shift. Just before she was about to clock out, the hotel manager came to her desk with an unexpected message. Keanu Reeves had left her a note. The note was simple but powerful. "Thank you for being kind, even when things got hectic. We all make mistakes, but the important part is learning from them and moving forward." Emma's heart swelled with gratitude. In that moment, she knew she had received a gift far greater than anything she could have imagined. Keanu's words would stay with her for the rest of her life, reminding her of the true power of kindness and humility. This story is a powerful reminder that even in the midst of our mistakes, there is always room for growth. It's about treating everyone, regardless of their status, with the same level of respect and kindness. Keanu's grace and humility were the catalysts for Emma's transformation, and now she is better for it.